Here's a quick question for you. What do Deco, Edgar Davids and Miroslav Klose all have in common? The answer? Well, they didn't play international football for their country of birth. So how does this happen? Well, they either play for their country they were born in, they either play for the country their parents were born in, their grandparents were born in, or they live long enough in a place to get citizenship and then represent that national team. No matter why they choose to do it or how it comes about, certain countries will be ruining the missed opportunities they had at signing up a player for their national team. So today, I'll be looking through a starting 11 of players who didn't play for their country of birth. So I will say before the video starts that although the players I've mentioned before and the likes of Lilian Thuram, Marcel Desailly and Patrick Vieira all didn't play for their country of birth, this is for the players who are currently playing now and who haven't retired from international football. Up first is Fernando Muslera. Originally born in Argentina, he moved to the Uruguayan capital of Montevideo to start his footballing career at a young age. A move to Lazio followed, and since 2011, he's been at Galatasaray in Turkey. But during this time, he's amassed 102 appearances in goal for the Uruguayan national team. One country's trash is another country's treasure, clearly, and whilst Uruguay have benefited from having Muslera in goal, Argentina would have killed to have someone like that in net for the World Cup, instead of having the likes of William Caballero. So first up in the 3-5-2 formation is the first of our centre-backs, and it's Mehdi Benatia. Born in France to Moroccan and Algerian parents, he decided to play for the Moroccan national team, probably considering the fact that when he decided to, he was in the French second division, meaning that a call-up to the French national team wasn't probably possible at that time. Despite this, he's gone on to have a long career at international and club level, and the current Juventus centre-back is even captain of the Moroccan national team and has represented them at 2 World Cups. Up next in defence is a player who actually switched nationality after playing in the youth teams for France. Born in northeastern France to Senegalese parents, Kalidou Koulibaly decided to play for Senegal despite the best attempts from Didier Deschamps to bring him into the French national team. To be honest, looking at it now, the Napoli defender could probably get into the French squad, even the French starting 11, which means that by now he would have a World Cup winners medal rather than being knocked out of the tournament. But someone who does have a World Cup winners medal now is Samuel Umtiti. Born in Yaoundé, the capital city of Cameroon, he moved to the suburbs of Lyon aged 2, and it's there that he got his footballing education, and it's there that he decided to declare for the French national team despite the Cameroonian officials begging him otherwise. He made his debut for Didier Deschamps' side in the quarter-final of Euro 2016 as France defeated Iceland and eventually fell in the final. However, that game probably seems very insignificant now, seeing as he's now lifted the World Cup. So as we leave the defence, I will probably throw in a few honourable mentions about players who have missed out by the skin of their teeth. Pepe was born in Brazil but played over 100 games for Portugal. Brazilian fullback Mario Fernandes moved to Russia and decided to gain citizenship there and featured at the World Cup for them. And French-born left-back Rafael Guerreiro plays for Portugal whilst playing his club football in Dortmund. And now into the midfield, where we start off with a Spanish-born midfielder who now plays for the Serbian national team. Born in Spain, Sergei Milinkovic-Savic was born to a football-playing father and a basketball-playing mother. It's because of this his father's career took him around quite a bit. He then moved to Sporting's youth system in Portugal before finally moving back to Serbia and coming through the ranks there. He's represented the national team 7 times since making his debut last year and has been that good he's also caught the attention of Manchester United and Real Madrid, who reportedly were looking at paying £100 million for him this summer. Alongside him, we have another player who is a product of his father's footballing career. Thiago was born in Italy to Mazinho, the famous 1994 winning World Cup Brazilian player, however moved around due to the end of his father's playing career. He moved with his family to Brazil, where incidentally his brother Rafinha was born, and joined the youth teams of Flamengo. He then moved to Spain, where he joined the Barcelona setup, and since then has come through at Barcelona and all the Spanish youth levels to play for the national team, even with moving to Bayern Munich in between. As mentioned before, his brother Rafinha was born in Brazil and has decided to play for them rather than for Spain, where he was also part of the Barcelona youth setup. Despite declaring for Brazil, he's only managed 2 appearances, however, was part of the Olympic gold medal winning squad in the Olympics in Rio in 2016. Despite being linked with a big money transfer this summer from Barcelona to PSG, no amount of money can buy a player from one national squad to another. So Ivan Rakitic will continue to play for Croatia wherever he decides to play his club football. Despite being born in Switzerland to Croat parents and playing 4 games for the Switzerland under-21 side, he decided to declare nationally for the Croatian team and has gone on to become one of their key influential players alongside midfield maestro Luka Modric. Moving on to the left-hand side of midfield, and we have a 5-year-old who came from the Caribbean to London back in 1997. Raheem Sterling moved over to London for Jamaica and was quickly spotted by QPR youth scouts. It was from here he signed a YTS deal with Liverpool before eventually moving on to Manchester City for around £50 million. Despite this, he never declared for Jamaica or played a game for them at youth level, and has gone on to represent England at 2 World Cups and European Championships, becoming one of their key players over the years. And out on the right hand side is someone who plays for the Moroccan national team without having ever set foot in any one of their youth teams or any Moroccan club. Having been born in Holland, Hakim Ziyech started with the Heerenveen Academy before moving to FC Twente and then on to Ajax. It's here he decided to declare for the Moroccan national team rather than Holland. To be fair, he'd have a pretty tough time getting into the Dutch squad ahead of Arjen Robben. However, Morocco did go to the World Cup this summer instead of Holland, so it's probably a good call, for the moment at least. And as we leave the midfield section, it's probably good to throw in another few names who didn't quite make the cut, but they're still top quality players. As mentioned before, with the Croatian squad, another one of their midfielders wasn't actually born there in Mateo Kovacic. The new Chelsea loan signing was actually born in Linz in Austria, but decided to play for his parents' country of birth. Alongside this, Xherdan Shaqiri was also born in Kosovo, which was then Yugoslavia, but plays his international football for Switzerland. And moving on to the striking partnership, we have yet another player who was moved around because of his dad's playing career. Gonzalo Higuain was actually born in northwest France, however moved back to Argentina at the age of just 2 months. Since then, he's gone on to be one of the best strikers in Europe, and although he had a pretty poor tournament with Argentina in the summer, his ratio stands at just over 1 goal every 2 games for the national team, so that's not a bad record indeed. And lastly on this list, we have the only player in the starting 11 to have played for a national team only in a friendly competition before moving. The rules state that as long as you don't play in a FIFA competitive game, such as the World Cup or a qualifier, you're actually allowed to switch nations, obviously depending on the rules I mentioned before. This is the case for Diego Costa. He was born in Brazil but made the move to Braga in Portugal aged 15. It was from there he bounded around a few smaller Spanish clubs before finally ending up at Atletico Madrid. Since he played and lived so long in Spain, he was eligible for a call-up, and despite playing 2 friendly matches for Brazil, then declared himself a Spanish citizen and therefore eligible for their national team. It was a pretty good call, as this came in a time where Spain were void of strikers. With the decline of Fernando Torres and David Villa at the end of their careers, Diego Costa has stepped up to become really the first choice striker. He had a good World Cup, however couldn't help Spain to relive their former glories in winning the World Cup and the Euros. As with the other positions, I've decided to throw in an honourable mention, and this one up front goes to Christian Benteke. Despite being born in Zaire, which is now the Democratic Republic of Congo, he plays his international football for Belgium, where he fights alongside Romelu Lukaku for a spot in the Red Devils starting 11. So there you have it, there's my international 11 of players who don't play for their country of birth. But do you know any more that I've missed out? If so, let me know in the comments section below, and don't forget to smash that like button. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.